I hope that audio is fine.
5 people waiting, so I guess that's just us. Yeah, I'll try to post that we're online.
Okay. Okay, so here we are again to another live session from Teleskop-Service. Today with also a guest again, which is Paul from Netherlands.
Yes.
And also attending is Yasha from Slovenia, Peter South Africa, and Jan from Czech Republic, and myself, Torsten, from Germany. And yeah, after a longer summer break, we are again online to show some photos that we took, talk a bit about astronomy stuff, astronomy gear, maybe recent events or upcoming events that may be of interest, and yeah, just have a nice chat here. To start off, we decided to first show some of the residents' images of us. Unfortunately, Ioan from USA can't attend tonight, but I'm pretty sure that he is again attending next time. So just a little moment that I got everything up here. Oh, and by the way, the first thing I want to do is give a shout out to all attendees of the ITT, of Internationales Teleskoptreffen in Austria, which is happening this week, basically. I was attending this star party, I think, 6 times in a row now, but not this year. Unfortunately, it was not fitting into the time schedule. But greetings to all attendees and to the hosts there, the Sattleger family. It was always a pleasure to be there, just as a side note, as said. Okay, well, yeah, I think we can start off right now showing some things. Guys, I hope you were able to do something over the summer. I'm not sure. Jan, will you start off?
Sure. Well, my summer was. I had a few longer runs, but it was mostly cloudy. But from the longer runs, I had. It was the longest run in the past 2 years, where I shot, I believe, for 4 days in a row. So it was quite good, and it also fit into my vacation. So I just could really enjoy it. And I also attended a star party in Czech Republic, and unfortunately, it's the longest running star party, I believe. It might be even in the world, because it was the, I believe, 64th year of the star party, and it was basically the worst weather ever, because it was just 2 weeks of rain. So the people there just had like maybe one proper night. Yeah, the weather just didn't cooperate. But just before the star party, I got this little thing.
We can't. It's a hexagonal. I have an idea.
It's a TS camera. It's a planetary camera, and I was doing planetary photos for past 2 years with my SI 120 and Mini, which is basically just a guide camera. And it's not really good, and I'm really enjoying this one, and I want to play a lot with it. And also I want to fit it with a Samyang 135 lens on a 3D printed mount, which is almost complete now, finally, after I fixed my printer. So if I'll share my screen here.
Can you also tell some of the technical specs of this camera? Because I don't have it in mind.
It's 2.1 megapixel, and it has just a tiny sensor, but I actually wanted a small pixel size
Yeah.
to get some details in on a planet and stuff like that. And I'm mostly using it with my Maxtop, which is 127 to 1500. So
yeah, that's
so it has quite a big magnification, and also when I lower the resolution, which is already low, but you know it's planetary, so you're always doing some really low res images. For example, I shot, I believe, the Jupiter on 640 by 640, and I was getting 300 frames per second. So it was insane. Like I got 30,000 images just like that. So it was awesome because the SI 120 Mini can only do on full resolution 30 frames. So it always took forever to get something.
Yeah.
So
and is it OSC or mono?
It's OSC. Because I also the SI 120 is mono, so I couldn't do colored images of planets or stuff like that, because
that's super difficult because it rotates then and you have to derotate it.
Yeah, this is, and this one also the sensor in it is I believe IMX 462C, and it has almost 100 quantum efficiency in IR, so it's fun to use it with IR filter, and you can just visualize veins in your body and stuff like that. It's really fun, and also, for example, the trees in IR glow and have quite bright leaves, so it's really good to play with. It's just fun camera to have, and it's quite cheap, so that's the reason why I bought it. And if I share my screen, I'll start with the Jupiter here, if you can see it.
Yes.
It's not really good because the Jupiter is already getting further away from us, and the sync wasn't that great, but I was just testing it, so I wanted to have something to show you. So this is probably the best I got. It's I believe 2000 frames stacked out, the best 2000 stacked out of 30,000.
Okay.
So and you can see some of the details. I didn't want to over sharpen it.
Yeah.
And actually, one thing I'm missing since it's a color camera is that I cannot drizzle, or not drizzle.
Bin.
Not bin. It's in auto stacker. It's the button, and you just you can resize it to double the resolution, and since each picture is not on exactly the same pixel every time, so resample is the word I was looking for. So I miss it a little bit because the resolution could be double if it was mono, but still I'm quite happy with it. Also, I got the ISS, and I don't know if you guys can see it here. Can you see it, or do you see
it? Not yet.
Yeah, you share. Okay. There you go.
Oh, great. That's cool. There's a question what OTA size, but I remind it was a Maxitov 127?
Yes.
127
by 1500.
Honestly, we're talking about a very small and let's say not easy setup, but
it's quite small, and it's I would say for the size and the price, that telescope is I love that scope because it's still quite portable because it's tiny, and the resolution is not the best, but since you're for example, for visual, it's awesome for planets, and for the moon, it's incredibly, and it's sharp. But for planetary photos, if you have if you got enough frames and have a good sync, you can get quite sharp images too. So I was always I'm always thinking that I would get a bigger telescope, or at least the diameter would be bigger, so I could get a better resolution. But then I wouldn't have a quite easily small, tiny portable setup. So
sure, yes.
That's why I don't change it.
This ISS photo, how did you track it to record a video?
It's the max setup is Celestron Nexstar, and it has AZ mount, and I just unscrewed it and untightened. I untightened everything, and I just guided it with my hand.
Okay.
And it has just a red dot finder, so I just aligned it on a Jupiter before, and when the ISS started to flew over me, I was just getting a huge amount of empty frames, and I was just trying to get the ISS into the frame. And I wasn't even watching the computer screen. I was just hoping that it's going to be there. And after that, I had like 40K images. So I ran it through EIPP, and just I had it output only the images which had something. So I got maybe like 300 frames with ISS, and I stacked maybe 15 of the really similar ones. I tried doing more, but then you get, for example, multiple solar arrays, because the ISS is changing the angle as it moves over you. So it's quite difficult to get it, but it's really satisfying, because also I tried getting ISS this year for multiple times. I tried it, and I always failed because, for example, my gain was set too low, or my capture speed was too long. So even 1 millisecond is too long for the ISS, and it's just blurry. Okay. So this is half a millisecond. So many things has to go right to get it, and I tried to get it with my LSI 1600 because I thought, well, it has bigger sensors, so
definitely
I'll be more successful. But in the end, it was oversaturated, so it was just a big shiny blur. So I'm quite happy with this image. It's no resolution and no details really, only those solar arrays, but it's quite satisfying after almost a year of trying to get it finally.
That's definitely also on my list. Sometime I have to try this out.
It's really fun to do it. So another is just a quick. It's not even done yet, but I thought I would share it with you. It's the two fused images of the moon, and I was just playing with the camera, so I wanted to test it. So I thought, well, I obviously have to do the moon, and you can see some of the details, but as I said before, the seeing wasn't that good, and also the moon was just rising, so also it was the atmosphere was quite thick in front of the moon, so the conditions just weren't so great. So you can see some of the details, and also some nice craters, but it's not as sharp as I would like it to be. So I'll move for some nicer images. This is my last image I took recently. It's the here. If you do, you know what this nebula is?
Of course, the dumbbell. Yes.
So it's just below Albireo in Cygnus. And I just can't recall the names of the two constellation in there in English. It's in Czech it's Vulpeka, and in Czech the second one is an arrow. But You know what I mean.
Sure. Yeah. Summer Milky Way.
Yeah. So originally I thought this is shot with my Canon 6D and Samyang 135 at f2 2.0, and originally I was planning on getting around 4-5 hours, but it got cloudy, and actually I left some of the images. I stacked some of the little bit hazy images, and I got really nice soft halos around the brighter stars. So it's actually quite nice effect, but overall I lost most images due to the clouds. So I thought some of the nebulae would pop out more, but still I think it's nice.
Yeah.
Then
is this 6D modified? Your
yeah,
camera?
it's Bader modified, so it has BCF filter. So I still use it as my main shooter also for daylight photography.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to ruin the camera for it.
Sure.
So
No,
it has BCF,
fun.
and it's shot with the L Pro filter from Optolong, and
clip
actually, yes,
okay,
full frame clip
nice.
in it. It was well worth it. I believe I have some artifacts. I have to figure out why it's doing these like just lines over the stars, and I'll show you another image where it's much more visible. And I believe it's the L Pro is causing it, because without it I don't see it. But I believe it might be just because it doesn't sit in front of a sensor. It might be a little bit tilted or something like that, so I have to look into that.
Yeah.
Then if I'll... Oh, no. Let me try to change it. Then... Did it change it for you as well?
No,
Or
it's the same image.
Oh, here we go. So this is a wide field of the heart and soul, and I also wanted to capture the star clusters.
Really nice frame.
Here are some reflection nebulae, and as you can see on the brighter stars here,
it's these streaks.
You can see what's it doing. So that's like a homework for me to figure out what's it doing.
How long is this integrated? Because
I think 7 hours.
Okay.
It's quite long. Also, this is first image I shot using a lens cooler, which I 3D printed, because you can get a lens cooler for Samyang. And on a Star Adventure Mini, if you use a ball head, for example, or something like that, to tilt the camera, it's already so far from the counterweight. It's just not working. So I printed out the lens cooler, and it works. It's so awesome, and I can stress this enough. But the 3D printer is just it's a game changer. You need something, you print it, and you have. I have already so many things printed out for astronomy. I needed. For the camera I showed you earlier, this one, I needed connector to get it to connect it to lens, so I just printed one out because it's still even faster. It's still faster than if I were to purchase it and I have it shipped, So it's just quite practical to have one.
Yes.
And also. Here you go. I'll try to. This is from the star party I was attending. I was lucky enough that for the bright night I was there. I'm not really happy how I connected this picture to the foreground, but you can see there's multiple telescopes here and a lot of people doing deep sky astrophotography here. Here are the beginners, and we had really nice airglow there. Fortunately, this year took place in a place where the sky was just so dark. It was really awesome to see the Milky Way arch and everything.
Yeah, that's cool. But this was the only night, or
basically, yeah, because we had more nights, but it was, for example, it was early August, so the nights were still quite short.
Yeah,
and
sure.
We had, for example, 2 hours of observation time, and for example, the people who were doing deep sky, just like visual, they were happy with it, because in 2 hours you can see a lot of things. But for, the astrophotography group was just frustrated because you start something up and already you get clouds, because there's a lot of people who are unexperienced with astrophotography. So we try to teach them, and when the weather does not cooperate, the gear does not cooperate, and it's just a lot of frustration and swearing. But I believe people enjoyed it. Here is Lacerta, because I found out there's a lot of dust in it. Oh, I don't know why it go.
That's the starless. Here we are.
Here you go.
Also the Samyang, or is this a different?
Yes. Samyang 6D L Pro Star Adventure Mini.
Fantastic target selection. I didn't even know that they're so so contrasty IFN there around this nebula.
Well, this was ghost hunting, and it's almost 16 hours. I shot it over 2 nights, and I'm not really happy with the processing on this one, because it's still to my taste. I messed it up, so I posted it on Instagram, because it's a small resolution, but for the bigger resolution, I'm still planning on doing a new version, because I'm not really happy, and also it's still quite close to the center of the Milky Way, so. Or close to Milky Way, so there's a lot of stars, so you have to use a heavy star reduction to even get some dust out. So it was quite difficult to process it, and as I said, I'll probably do it again multiple times, because after I spent 2 days or 2 nights on this, I really want something out of it, and this is shot at f2 for 16 hours, so
it's definitely worth shooting, but of course difficult.
If I get it closer, you can see that there are some artifacts from star removal, so I want to get rid of those. And also here's I lost some of the contrast on it, so it's difficult target. So I'm happy I got the data, and I'm gonna play with it during the cloudy nights.
Yeah.
So I'm getting closer to the end. Also, I forgot one image I took with the camera, and it was my dream come true, because ever since I started astrophotography, I wanted to try sun in HA, and at the star party there was a small HA telescope. So. My dream came true, and here's the sun in HA. It's taken with 50mm Lund.
Okay. Oh, that's a beauty. Yeah. and what camera?
The TS 446.
Oh, also this one. Cool.
462. Yeah, this one.
Okay.
I really pressured the guys at TS to send it to me as soon as possible, because I found out about the camera like just a few days before the star party. So I was like, guys, you have to send it to me. And I believe Bernard was on a vacation, and I was like, I really need it.
Yeah, I'm also always looking at star parties if there's some Lund or Coronado or something standing around. Because for myself, I don't need one, to be honest. But it's super cool to catch a few through it.
Yeah, I'll try to speed it up. Here's a elephant trunk, and I'm getting to the end. Here's a
Sure.
elephant trunk with Canon 6D and Samyang again, and I was quite surprised that I got the flying bat nebula here. Well, the squid is not there, but I think that it's quite impossible to get it without narrowband filters.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
This was
That's-
basically just a test of the L Pro. I think it was one of the first images I took with the L Pro, and just to test it. And here's the last one. Finally, something with a telescope, and it was on my list for such a long time, and I'm so happy I'm finally done with it. Here's the Bubble Nebula. And last time I shot it was, I believe, 2016, and
Yeah.
I just really didn't do it a justice. So I thought I have to do it again with a better telescope, better camera, and now my setup is ready for these kind of images. So I finally shot it. The only problem I see is that it's not that blue as I would like to, and I actually got more oxygen data, but I have yet to process it with added data. But this is I believe 4 nights of imaging, one for HA, 2 for oxygen, and 1 for
Oh my god. Okay, that's intense. Definitely.
Yeah, but
Whoa.
But you know, I have some details in
That's
here,
fantastic.
so I'm
That's fantastic.
really happy with it.
Yeah.
So that's it from me, and it's been a long summer, and I'm happy that I got so many images.
Yeah, really great stuff. That's cool to see. Okay. So let's head over to the next one. Yasha, would you take over?
Yeah,
Have
sure.
you something?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna be really quick because I just want to share some photos that I got with my new telescope, which is a 10-inch Newtonian from Skywatcher. It's a bit old, so it's blue in color. And I basically got it almost for free for the price that I paid for it. So this is the setup I've been using for the past few
Just a moment. There's still the Explorer view.
Oh, wait a second. Right, so stop it here and restart again. Screen one.
Too many screens. Okay, here it is. Yes.
Good. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. So this is the telescope that I've been using for some of the latest shots for me, and I already like it a lot. I've been using a monochrome camera from my friends, which is a 1600 monochrome right here, and of course a chroma corrector and some additional stuff that helped me with imaging. So the first one was actually the first light is a small planetary nebula in Cygnus called the NGC 7009. Yeah. And for this one, I choose the technique of lucky imaging, which it means that I took a lot of short integrations, like 5 seconds, and then so I kind of eliminated a bit of atmosphere that's causing like blurred out images and stuff. And I also got around 3 hours of RGB, so 1 per channel, and it got me an image like this, which I'm really proud of because I mostly got this telescope for like small stuff like this one is. So I'll try to image a lot more in the future. And the next one is actually my favorite up to date, which is the Rose Galaxy from the ARP catalog. Most of you have probably seen it from Hubble, and I was impressed when I compared mine and the Hubble's photo that I got like some little star streams over here in the arms of galaxy, I was impressed when I saw it. So this is the second image I took, which is, I think, 4 hours of luminance and then 4 hours of RGB, something like this. And I took RGB data from a color camera from my other friend. So that's the second image, and the last one is the NGC 7497, I think, which is like one of the hardest targets that I shot because the galaxy itself is super bright and the stuff around it is very dim. And even though this is around 9 hours of luminance, it was still not enough to bring out most of the stuff because there's a lot of more dust in the
but
background.
looks really.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's super cool.
And I was also thinking of reprocessing it because I don't like how the stars turned out because you can see a blue halo around the orangish star. So this is not how it is supposed to look, and it's still quite noisy. So I was planning on reprocessing it, but I just didn't find time for it. So this were my 3 best photos from the setup that I have now. And I hope that I'll emit some more interesting targets in the future.
Yeah, that looks really promising. So for the first photos with the new telescope, that's exceptional, really. So we can look forward to the next clear nights for you. That's cool. Good to see. Okay, Peter.
Sure, yeah. Let me see if I can share the screen.
I hope that the weather turned better in South Africa.
Well, the weather's been a bit patchy. It's sort of been on and off. I didn't get any nice, 4 or 5 night runs, which we do sometimes get. So it was, the odd nights, 2, 3 or 4 nights a month. So it's not been great, but still. Let me see. So I did spend, because the weather was so bad, I did spend some time just upgrading the observatory a little bit. So I put in some steel tri-piers. So I found a nice company,
Very nice. Very nice.
Local company, a small company called Steel Art in Cape Town, and they made me these piers relatively inexpensively as well. And I'm trying to convince them to start making plates and other adapters, and they're quite interested. So that's something to maybe look out for in the future.
Cool. Yeah.
So that was the observatory.
Just a moment. What do we see here? Just for.
Oh yeah. So here I've got set up the 61 EDPH and also the 94 EDPH.
Okay.
So I've since swapped the 61 with the Rasa. So most of all the images that you'll see coming up will be taken from the Rasa and the 94 millimeter. So I swapped this out shortly after the picture was taken. So every year I have a go at the Eagle. Everyone has a go at the Eagle. So this was taken with the Rasa, with a classic Hubble palette. So I managed to get, I think it was about 7 or 8 hours in total on this. Pretty happy with the outcome. I would have liked to have seen a bit more detail, with the pillars of creation, and all the colors didn't quite come out as nicely as I would have liked, but the details were great. So very happy with the details, at the core of the nebula, and then the other details came out very well. Also, this is with the 1600 mm. This picture. Then I don't do globular clusters very often, but I got a new color camera, so the 533 MC Pro, and I was kind of curious to try it out on on a very rich star field. So this is, let me just look it up. I can't remember. This is NGC 6397 in Ara, and I took about 2 hours of data on this. And the camera's nice. The star colors come out really, really well. And it's a huge improvement on the 1600 MC.
Okay.
The only problem, of course, with this camera is the sensor. It's a square sensor. It's quite small. But for targets like globules, it's perfect. Because you get to zoom in a bit with the smaller sensor. And as I said, the star colors, there aren't any visible halos or anything like that. Came out really, really well. So very happy with.
And what was the telescope you used for this one?
So this was also the Rasa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And this one is really huge, isn't it? This globular cluster.
Yeah, it's we're lucky in the southern hemisphere. We've got some massive. You'll see later. I also shot 47 Takina as well, so you'll see. And that's a huge globular. So then again, classic. So combo, Rosette and so the Lagoon and the Trifid Nebula. So again, this was a Rasa capture, and this time I used the 294 MC Pro. So I had to drizzle the data because it's a bit undersampled with those slightly larger pixels, but I was pretty happy. And the zoom in of the Trifid, which was the next shot I wanted to show you, actually turned out quite nice.
So this is just cropped out.
This is a crop.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a crop of the bigger image, and even though you're working with the larger pixels, when you drizzle the data, the resolution was okay. There are some artifacts. Some of the brighter stars here. There are sort of few artifacts.
Yeah.
But I suspect that's probably because of the drizzling process rather than anything else.
What filter do you use for this one?
So this is with the Alpro.
Okay.
So all the one shot color images I take, I use the Alpro filter.
Okay.
Then this is something I hadn't shot before. This is the Sagittarius star cloud. So again, this was taken with the 294 MC with the Alpro filter. Actually, no, not with the Alpro. This was with the Allen Hans filter. So I tried the Allen Hans. It was quite a lot of HA in this cluster. So I wanted to pick out the HA, and there's some nice dust lanes as well.
Yeah.
Do you have any RGB data for this?
No, I don't. No, it's something of which I'd really like to
I can send you my data if you want to, because I shot it too.
Okay.
I think in the beginning of the in the end of August, I think I shot it too, and I have some really good RGB data on it.
Cool. Okay. Excellent. Yeah. Please do. Yeah, that'd be great. And what pixel scale? What sort of image scale are you?
I used the 61 dph and a APS-C camera, so it's pretty wide.
That should work pretty well. That should work well.
Yeah.
And then this is the small Magellanic Cloud, so something you guys don't get to see up north.
We know it, but most of us haven't seen it yet.
So this is the central part. This again taken with the Rasa and using the Allen Hans filter and the 294 MC Pro. So again, I had to drizzle the data with this one. So I actually had a few goes at the small Magellanic Cloud. You'll see some sort of wider field shots in a moment.
When are these both Magellanic Clouds are in the sky for you? Is it in
From now, more or less, right through the summer months. So of course we're in spring, heading into spring now. So the small Magellanic Cloud. I can tell you. Let's see. Yeah, so it's about 3 hours from the meridian right now, and the large Magellanic Cloud has just risen. So that's going to be visible pretty much the whole night.
Yeah.
From now on.
I definitely have to set up my SkyShot software sometime at some point for southern location, because I don't have a clue where are the objects.
But yeah, it's coming into a great time of the year for, if you're looking due south, you've got, the large and small Magellanic Clouds, you've got, some beautiful star clusters, you've got, the big nebulae, Eta Carina and Running Chicken and various other nebulae coming up. So it's good, and the Tarantula Nebula and the large Magellanic Cloud. So there's lots to image in the next few months.
Yeah.
And yeah, so here we have 47 Decana.
This looks also like the 533 because it's square.
I think wait a minute. Yes, no, it is the 533. You're right. Okay. Yes, the 533.
This one is really huge. Oh my God.
On the Rasa. The core is a little bit blown. The core is a little bit blown out. Unfortunately, I should probably use shorter exposures, given that I was using the Rasa. I mean, these are, I think, 30-second exposures. I should probably go down to 10-second exposures on this one.
I think it actually gives a nice effect.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
a little bit mysterious.
Yeah, I mean, you can. Some of the central stars are resolved. It is a little bit blown out.
Yeah.
And then this was a big project. This took probably about 2.5 months because of the bad weather. So this was about 27 hours on the Lobster Nebula in the Hubble Palette. A slightly modified Hubble Palette, actually. This was taken with the EDPH 94 and using the 294 mono camera.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, don't know what to say.
It's incredible.
Yeah, very happy. I tell you one thing about this camera: the 294 has got the strangest. It's got a pattern on the sensor. So when you take flats, you get this very mottled look on the flats, and you think there is something crazy wrong with the sensor, but actually it's perfectly normal. And you see a bit of the mottling on the light frames as well. It's not quite so dominant as on the flats, but it calibrates out perfectly. So it's not a problem. And the thing I don't understand about in HA and S2, you don't get it in O3, and you don't get it for the broadband filters. So
isn't it something like Yasha had with a camera on a filter?
Oh, the numbers are on, but the sensors that the 294 MC and MM uses have problems with the wavelength around H alpha and S2. So basically, my problem was, I think it was the same as yours, just that I couldn't calibrate it out for some reason.
It's a feature.
From that, it is a great camera. I was a bit surprised. Anything useful came up. It was quite low down.
You can meet them, join them. Yeah. I just emailed 2-3 days ago that Starlink is available in Czech Republic. So
no,
it's still quite expensive, but I think over the time, if they lower the price, you'll get really good ping, So